Here are the top posts from No Stupid Questions on the 4th of November 2019. Video Boys Ace Cube. What started the whole trope of people getting nosebleeds as a result of using their magical powers?
Lord Indica. In addition to the trope others posted, I will point out that getting a nosebleed under extreme physical duress is totally a thing that happens in real life, or at least can happen, when the action in question can cause rapid spikes in blood pressure, bursting small capillaries. For instance, this dude at the World Arm Wrestling Championship getting one during his big hit is also not uncommon for powerlifters. Think deadlifting 400 plus pounds. To have it happen, that or shitting, piercing themselves. So this is an instance where a handy visual cue for someone under intense strain is more an exaggeration of reality that applies well in fiction. After all, if we assume psychic powers involve massive mental effort, that would likely require great blood flow and pressure in the brain. Hence, a nosebleed.
The Time Shrike. First time I saw and read it was in Firestarter by Stephen King.
Cold engine bad brakes. In the 70s and 80s, there were very specific reasons for different kinds of bleeding head holes. 1. Ears. Usually meant some kind of incoming psychic attack, or sonics, or creatures in our ears. 2. Mouth. Physical damage, unless organs. 2. Then supernatural. Yuck. 3. Eyes. Supernatural, or sudden atmospheric pressure drop. Later years, it was zombies, or pink eye. 4. Nose. Psychic ability being used, or psychic attack being levied upon you. Thin nose membranes will break when giant brain power is being employed. Hence, bleeding noses. It's just a thing. It doesn't really mean one thing or another.
Dinierto. Isn't the no one meme being used incorrectly?
Dan Longert. You are correct. There's really no way to say it that gets the idea across better, though. Something like everyone makes it seem like everyone is actively acknowledging whatever it is, but saying nothing about it. Something like no one gets the idea across that nobody has even thought about this thing. Even though you are correct, it is indeed a double negative and technically inaccurate. TCF National Bank. Languages function differently than logic gates do. Double negations are usually used to emphasize the negative nature rather than inverse it. Nobody said nothing means I stress that not a single person here said anything, rather than everyone said something.
Pointlessly pedantic. You are overthinking it. I've been there, too, though. I agree with you that the literal interpretation just makes it wrong. Since quite literally no one cannot say anything, as saying something is something only someone can do. But it's just an easy plus playful way to represent that nobody is saying anything.
The son of sons. In middle school, I accidentally set off a fire alarm, and the fire department came. What other consequences did this event cause? TLORI 823. False alarms happen all the time. It's a daily thing that fire departments, alarm companies, and 911 dispatchers expect and build into their estimates. It technically costs money for a city to send a fire truck anywhere, but they know that not every call will be a real emergency and factor all that in. It only becomes a real problem when it's intentionally harmful, like calling in a bomb threat to shut down a public building, or is really starting to hurt the system, like if you pulled the fire alarm 3 times a day, to the point where all the fire trucks were having to go to your school and there was a longer response time to another emergency somewhere else. But overall these systems are built to be redundant and they know accidents happen. Any cost you would have caused would have already been averaged out if it's just a one-time thing. I guess it costs everyone a half hour or whatever of missed class time. But even that is probably expected in some form or other.
Bro, join my heist PLS. I think you or your parents get fined £1,000 if on purpose. Not sure about an accident though. I would imagine you would be taken to court though.
The real JonTron. You probably took a single-engine company out of service for about 20 minutes. Unless you lived in a very small community, there were other units to cover. It likely didn't cause any serious problems. If sprinklers were activated, they could have caused serious water damage.
DMM 1124. When we fall back and set our clocks back an hour, do night shift workers have to work that extra hour? LEF 543. In most states in the US, yes, they get paid. Lynn Elliott. Yep, we also usually work an hour less when we spring forward. Stealth secrecy. Typically yes, but they are paid for it, hopefully. Just an extra long shift.
Wacko Wizard 217. Does anyone else intentionally try to read the small print on the bottom of adverts?
Simon Drake. Often the small print includes the details of the survey they chose to explain why 87% of women recommend this shampoo or whatever. The sample sizes are insanely small, sometimes less than 20 people. I imagine legally they have to say how many people were in the survey, but they don't have to explain to stupid people that you shouldn't trust the results of a survey of 16 people on what yogurt makes their skin feel younger. Tritonis. The one that is funny to me are car advertisements. You will have a normal family sedan or crossover just driving down a curvy mountain road at posted speeds. Closed course. Professional driver. Lol. It's not like they are jumping dirt mounds or anything or going 150 miles per hour. The other one, car-related, are local car commercials. The bane of my existence. Car prices posted as insanely low amount. Fine print says that it applies to stock number 3B8KZ128. They have 50 car models of that type in inventory at 20 to 30% above the advertised price. But that lone one is there at that price. But has a steering wheel and maybe a couple of seats. No options whatsoever. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.